to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Celina Pereira. I love makeup and I am from Sydney, Australia. Today's video is going to be on this eye look that you see right here on the brand new Anastasia Beverly Hills Soft Glam Eyeshadow Palette. Now, this is a soft glam palette, but this is definitely not a soft glam look. I was heavily inspired by Arabic and Indian wedding makeup, so that's kind of what I went for with this look. Very kind of cat eye, inner corner, liner, pointy thing, dramatic lashes, really nice warm shades, semi-cut crease. So this video is a review, demo, first impressions, if you will, as well. I will be giving you guys more information about the palette itself and also how it compares to other Anastasia palettes. Now, before I get into the video, guys, don't forget, if you're not subscribed to my channel, then we've got problems. You and I, that's right, I'm looking at you. You right there, we have problems. It's a big red button. It's right down below. All you have to do is click that button. Be sure to click your notification bell because that way you get notified when I post something new. And also be sure to comment down below what you think of this look, what you think of my videos, and also give this video a like. I don't think I'm asking for much. It's 4 very simple tasks. I'm not asking for a lot. And if you guys want to see how I achieve this not so soft glam look, then please keep on watching. Then I'm going to go ahead into the shade Mulberry, which is this one right here, and I'm going to use a Morphe M433 brush, just tapping in just a little tiny bit. And again, I haven't powdered my base and I'm tapping off the excess so I don't get fallout, and I'm just going to start to swirl this onto the eye using very small circular motions, barely even touching my skin. So I'm still taking the shade Mulberry and I'm just going to keep on building it up until I've got the intensity that I want. And again, don't worry about harsh edges, don't worry about it being unblended. A Morphe R38 brush. And I'm gonna dip now into this shade here, which is Sienna. Just go on, I guess, like the outside part of this and just really start to blend it out. And I wanted to do my base first because I wanted this to be like a really like smoky look. Now going in with the MAC 286, I'm gonna go ahead and take this shade here, which is Burnt Orange. And I'm gonna do basically the exact same thing, just going on to the very outer part of that shadow. And I want this to go really high up because this is a cut crease. So a lot of this business all in here is all going to get covered up by the concealer anyway. So I do want to bring this quite high up. And then last shade I'm going to take is the shade here, which is called Orange Soda. This color right here. And I'm taking that with a Morphe R40 brush. And again, just do the exact same thing. This is going to go on the very outer part. I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit more Mulberry with that same brush. And I'm just going to intensify that just a little bit more in certain areas. Because as I've blended, obviously, I've lost a little bit of pigment. And then just go back in with my brush. Any brush will do. Okay, so now that I'm happy with that blend, I'm going to go ahead and cut the crease. And I'm going to use my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer for this. I'm using a MAC concealer brush. This is a MAC 243 brush. And I'm just going to load the brush up with that concealer. And I'm going to do the technique that I always do, which I learned from Ashley here on YouTube. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that concealer, I'm going to load it up to the brush. I'm going to apply it just across the lid like that. And you want to apply a fair amount because you want it to be a little bit liquidy when you do this, because then you're going to look up and wherever it stamps on the top is where you're going to draw your cut crease. And we're doing like a semi-cut crease here. So we're just going to stop about there. And then with this outer corner part, what I do is I just take the kind of side of the brush and I just start to blend this concealer so it starts to fade into those darker shades on that outer corner. Once you're happy with them and once you think that they look pretty even, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to set that because I am going to put a shimmer on top, so I do want it to kind of stick really well to the base. And I'm going to go ahead and take this shade here, which is called Bronze. To be honest, I think this is more of a gold, like a true gold rather than a bronze, but I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and just apply that straight onto the lid. I'm just pressing that onto the lid. And this pigment in this shadow is absolutely amazing. I think this is actually like a pressed pigment. Now I am going to do my inner corner highlight and my brow bone highlight now. And I'm going to take the shade Glistening up here. And I'm using a Morphe M560 brush. And I'm just going to apply it to the inner corner for a little pop. and also onto the brow bone. To re-intensify that outer corner, I'm just going to go ahead and take Mulberry again with that same M433 from Morphe and just apply this until I get a really nice blend. And doing the same process now, going in with Sienna and Burnt Orange on my slightly smaller brush and just doing the exact same thing. Of course, my R40 and Orange Soda and just blending out the very edges. Now moving on to liner before I do the lower lash line and my actual lashes. A black liner, this one just happens to be from Chanel. It's just a Khol pencil. Any will work. I'm just going to tightline. And this is totally optional, this particular step. I just think that in the overall look, it looks so much better. And I'm also going to go ahead and apply this to my waterline as well. Now going into the lower lash line, I'm going to take my M433 brush and I'm going to go into Mulberry with a touch of Noir, which is the black in the palette, very outer corner of the eye. And then I'm going to go in with just the shade Mulberry on that same brush and just add a little bit more of the actual colour in. Same thing that we did on the top lash line, now going in with a smaller brush, taking Sienna and Burnt Orange to diffuse that a little bit more. And then last but not least, taking Orange Soda and doing the exact same thing again. Alright guys, so now for my liner, I'm going to go ahead and take this pen eyeliner from the brand Mina. And I love the Kat Von D Triple Liner, but this is pretty much a dupe. It's like, I think it's like half the price or something like that. It's ridiculous. So I'm just going to go ahead and do a very fierce wing. And then for the inner corner, what I'm basically going to do is, and this is kind of tricky to do while I'm talking, but I'm going to try. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to extend the line on my inner corner just down and out. If you make a mistake, you can always go back and clean it with concealer, so don't worry too much. And then basically I'm going to create like a triangle shape going back into my tear ducts. Now that I have my liner on and they're pretty much even and I'm quite happy with them, I'm going to go ahead and take the shade Noir, which is the black from the palette, and I'm going to take a small angle brush from Morphe. This one happens to be the R45 brush, and I'm literally just going to take that into that shade Noir, and I want to set this line up. And I do this usually when I'm going out and I need my liner to stay on for several hours. Now this eye was actually a lot easier to do with the inner corner, but I will still take my concealer brush and just a tiny little bit more of concealer that's on the back of my hand. And I'm literally just going to just make sure it's really nice and sharp on this inner corner. Now I'm just going to go ahead and apply some lashes to complete this look. I'm just going to apply some mascara. This one is the Benefit Roller Lash. And for my falsies today, I'm going to go ahead and use this pair from Lily Lashes. They're in the style Sydney, Australia. That excites me. I love it. So this is what they look like here. I've just gone ahead and glued them up and I'm just going to stick them right onto my eyeballs. Alright guys, now to finish off this look, I obviously did my face before I started filming this video, before I did my eyes. I didn't experience much fallout, which was great, so I don't really have any cleaning up to do. But there's one thing that's missing on my skin, which is highlight. And I really wanted to showcase this product, and this is the brand new ANASTASIA Beverly Hills X Amrezy highlighter. Could not help myself but use it. I wanted to save it for the video to like a first impressions, but it's so beautiful. The actual product looks like this. And I'm going to take my Morphe M510 brush like I always do, and I'm just going to go ahead and just apply some highlights. And I mean, look at that. Does that not give you such a pretty wet look? I'm totally obsessed with this. I think this will work for quite a few skin tones. Alright guys, so now this look is complete. I paired it with, for lips, the ANASTASIA Beverly Hills liquid lipstick in the shade Ashton. I think it is. I think it's Ashton. It's over there somewhere, so I'm not even bothered to go and get it to tell you what it is. I just thought I would finish off with Anastasia since we started with Anastasia. But I did want to go ahead and talk to you guys a little bit about this Soft Glam palette, give you guys some details and some info, and also compare it to the other palettes, because Anastasia had some controversy in the past with one of their particular palettes, and they also had an amazing best-selling palette as well. So I guess a lot of people want to know how it compares to their best-selling palette and also how it compares to their very controversial palette. So to start off with, before I compare it to anything else, I first want to talk a little bit about the individual palette and its packaging details and stuff. So this is the Soft Glam palette. This is what the actual palette looks like. The unit carton looks like this. So it's the same color, of course, like the normal palette. On the back it has all of the ingredients and has an image. This is what the palette looks like here. You guys obviously saw it when I was doing the tutorial itself. All of the names, of course, are listed underneath the shades, and of course there is 14 shades just like their other palettes. Now I believe this palette is $45 or $40, I'm not too sure. That's in US dollars, and that's directly from the Anastasia Beverly Hills website. Now for my Aussie beauties out there, you can get this product from Anastasia's website. You do need to use a freight forwarder. That's something else that I want to create a video on, is freight forwarding and using all that kind of stuff. So let me know if you guys are interested in that by liking this video, and I'll definitely do it for you because I've got a lot of info about that. But you can buy this palette off Beauty Bay, you can buy it off Khol Beauty, you can probably buy it, I think you can buy it on Beautylish as well, for those that do want it in Australia. The other thing too is that Anastasia Beverly Hills is sold in Sephora Australia, so I'm sure they will be getting this product very, very soon. So now comparing the Soft Glam palette to the other palettes from Anastasia Beverly Hills. So I have here 4 palettes from Anastasia that I'm going to compare it to. First of all, I'm going to talk about their best-selling palette, which is their Modern Renaissance palette. Now this palette I bought maybe 2-3 years ago. I have definitely tuned into this. I adore this palette. This was my holy grail palette for a very long time. You can see I've definitely used quite a lot of this palette. The formula of Anastasia shadows in general, their singles and also these palettes are beautiful. And where I guess the controversy came around was with the Subculture palette, which I'm talking about a little bit in a second, because I didn't do a review on the Subculture palette because by the time that I went to film a review, I think that it was already a little bit too late, and I think that everyone was kind of done and dusted with it. But I really did love this palette a lot. I still do. I still reach for it every now and then, not as much as what I used to, but I still do love this palette. The thing is, when the Subculture came out, and obviously since then, everyone, the first thing that people do is look at the formula and look at if it's powdery, look at if it's got a lot of fallout and all that kind of stuff. The Modern Renaissance palette does have quite a bit of fallout, and to be honest, I don't find that the Subculture has more fallout than what the Modern Renaissance one does, in my opinion. It could be too with batches, I don't know. I did order mine when it first came out, and it's definitely one of their best sellers. They've won awards for this palette as well, and it's just absolutely stunning. Obviously the next palette which I'm going to talk about is the Subculture. I resonate a lot with greens. I love putting green on my eyes. I love all these really pretty greens here. I love the pop of the yellows. The only disappointment that I had with this palette was the shade Fudge, because Fudge is a shade that is one of their best sellers in their single shadows, and it's also in the Shadow Couture palette, and this is a different Fudge to the one that I'm used to. So that was the only disappointment that I had, being as though it was a different color, but everything else really went well. I've used this palette several times. I've probably used this about maybe 12 to 15 times, and if I zoom in really nice and closely, you can see I have definitely gone into it, but it's nothing crazy. Like, I haven't hit pan on any of the shades, considering I've used it that much. I honestly haven't had a huge issue with the shades. When I obviously look at them, yes, I can see that some of them are really, really dented. But again, I don't think it's really that much of a big deal. Now, the next palette that Anastasia came out with was the Prism palette. And this palette was for their holiday collection just this last year. And this is what the shade range looks like here. This is definitely a very different shade range, but I'm in love. I'm obsessed with this. I think this is a stunning, stunning, stunning palette. I did film a 4 Looks 1 palette with this, and then there were some issues with the footage, so it actually never surfaced onto YouTube. But if you guys want a 4 Looks 1 palette video on this palette, I would definitely do that for you guys, because I really do love this palette. All the shades are beautiful. There's no shade in here that I don't like. And last but not least, the eyeshadow palette that is in question today, this Soft Glam palette. Now, This palette, to give also a little bit of background to how this launched, Norvina basically posted on Instagram saying that she was disappointed about the leak online because she wanted to do like some teasers and a really big launch. They still did an amazing, massive launch with this palette. Now I haven't used every single shade yet because obviously I've only filmed this look with it. So I used a total of 8 shades from the 14. So I've used just over half, so I think that I still have a really good idea of how this palette is going to be. Again, I look at this and there's no shade that I think shouldn't be in here. I think that all the shades are really beautiful. I have swatched all of them, but again, swatches tell you one thing and it's all about how it actually performs on the eye. I honestly really enjoy this. For those of you that have been following my channel for a while, you'll know because I've spoken about this before. I've basically been looking for like my holy grail neutral eyeshadow palette, which I know sounds crazy because I've got heaps of eyeshadow singles. I can make my own palette if I want to, but I love having a palette that I can reference, especially here on YouTube, that I can reference to and on Instagram, because people find it a lot easier to just take one palette and go rather than having to buy individual shades or having to have so many different palettes. So I definitely think this is going to be my new holy grail neutrals palette. It has a great balance of both shimmers, metallics, pigments, and also matte shades. It has all the essential matte shades that you need for a great neutral eye. This honestly has it all, and I just think it's really, really beautiful. I love this palette. I highly recommend it. Again, if you guys want to see a 4-looks-1 palette on this palette, let me know and I'll definitely do it for you guys because I do really like this. Alright guys, so that's it for this video today. I really hope that you guys enjoyed. If you did, please don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel if you're not already. Be sure to turn your notifications on so you don't miss out on anything that I post, and be sure to leave a comment down below on what you guys want to see next. Now, if you guys want to follow me on my other social medias, then you definitely should be. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, Facebook, and Pinterest. All of that is Celina J. Pereira. I make it nice and easy for you. And that's it for this video, guys. I really hope, again, that you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys on my next video. Bye, guys. Mwah.